What's up, guys? Welcome to Rice and Beans. Big-O and Jester are in the house. What's up, Big-O? How you doing, man?
What's up? I cannot get enough of that fucking intro, man. That shit's a boss, man.
Thanks, man. I'll pass the word along to the house band. I'm sure they'll appreciate that. I got to sit in on drums for that one. So, yeah.
Nice.
You're out there listening. I did the drums on that one.
Nice. Yeah, no, I'm doing good, man. Back in the office finally after almost a year of hard work on site and sweating and walking 10 miles a day and fucking hardly eating anything, dropping 30 some odd pounds. And,
yeah.
God damn. Now I'm at home relaxing. I call it relaxing, but I'm going back to my true Mexican form and doing yard work and picking weeds. Fucking crazy with this whole rain that we had in our monsoon. I've had weeds that were almost as tall as you.
Jesus.
So fuck's sake.
When you said, back to true Mexican form, I was like, oh, man, this dude's selling oranges by the freeway. That's hardcore.
Yeah, you know what? Good citrus is hard to come by, and naranjas on the streets, man, you can't beat those.
I was with a friend one time, and we're driving. They're like, yo, stop. I'm like, what? And, starts calling the orange dude over, and was like, all right, here. And then, fucking, I'm all, dude, it's fucking hot. I'm like, we're not going back to the pad for a while. I'm like, they're gonna go bad in the car. Just throw them in the trunk. It'll be fine. I'll eat them anyways.
Dude, haven't you ever watched Stand and Deliver? Those motherfuckers were in the classroom with no AC, sweating balls, trying to do fucking calculus. All of them eating oranges. That shit will work in the heat.
Because I was just thinking, because they were going to sit in the trunk of the car and, we're going to be, out. And it was, almost 100 that day.
Oh,
so,
perfect.
Yeah, I'm like, well, you're going to bake oranges in my fucking trunk.
Nice.
It was cool.
Well, Go ahead.
Oh, I was going to say it was cool, though, because for a week, my car smelled like oranges.
You put the oranges in there for the trunk monkey, right? Because monkeys like oranges too. And no, that's not a cancel culture reference.
I know, man. The world's getting out of control with this fucking cancel culture bullshit. And we got a couple of people that auditioned for the show, in fact, that were so worried about it that they ended up not doing the show because they were interested, but they were not cool with if work found out, and you know what I mean, then they lose their job over it or something. And then so, we understood, but it's just kind of getting to the point where it's like, okay, eventually this shit has got to start working for me somehow, right? Whether it be a little thing, a big thing. So
yeah,
I'm sitting here thinking, when did it work for me? We talked about it before, the show, The Bachelor, the Lady Antebellum Party, the host that defended her, and so then cancel culture turned on it, and I was like, oh, hey now.
So yeah, that whole story came about when she was talking about this during the show, and the Bachelor that was dating these women forgave her. He basically gave her an out, said, I understand, that's the past. You're not that person. This is something you went through. Now you've, grown from culture and understanding, and you're not that person anymore. But, oh no, the whole fucking world was woke for her and just fucking said, no, we cannot have this. So, and then that everybody's fucking stopping. And, how are we to speak our mind? How is work supposed to tell us what to think on our own time? Are we supposed to be that much of a pygmy, S type people that we go to work, tell them, they tell us what to do, they pay us, and we go home and we have no fucking free thought? No, come on. That's not how it works. This has nothing to do with the job that I do. This has nothing to do with the company that I work with. I do not use their name. I do not reference them in any way, shape, or form, and I do not speak for them at all. So if I say anything, it has nothing to bear on them.
Right. And that's the thing. That's what I'm thinking is what I do in my own free time and with my friends is my business. You know what I mean? I don't burden you with my bullshit. Like, you know what I mean? I'm not trying to force it down your throat. Like, what, like, why does it matter? Like, I can't sit
Well,
around with the guys and fucking tell jokes. Like, is that what the
yeah.
world's come to? That's that
Well,
we're
if the company wants to tell me how to live my life, I'm more than okay with it. No, don't get me wrong. You want to tell me how to live my life? I want $1 million a year. No, I will fucking watch what I say. I will be a good little boy. I will, not do anything inherently wrong for the company ever for $1 million. But that means that I'm selling my soul basically for that money. And that, a lot of people aren't worth, wanting to do that, not wanting to put their neck out on the line, not want to have free speech. And that's what this is all about, is free speech.
yeah. I mean, it's coming down to it. Like, it just like another time it kind of worked out was remember fucking Goya when they fucking backed Trump's little fucking shenanigans at the at the insurrection. I never liked their fucking food to begin with. I'm gonna just be honest and put that out there. Like, I had it and I'm like, bleh. But you know what I mean? Like, I'd rather
sounds like it was a sickness. I had it.
Though, unlike Disturbed, I wasn't down with it. And I just wasn't ever impressed by like the fucking brand in general. So when they backed Trump and his actions, and when everybody else was already fucking wigging out, and this was days after, right? That they fucking they backed him. It was like, what the fuck are you thinking? Don't you watch the news? I know they have fucking TV over there. I've been down there.
Well, everybody's just fucking gone off the deep end anymore. Everybody's worried about everything. Everybody's fucking got a freaking opinion about everything under the sun. And the best part about free speech is you can have an opinion. I don't need to listen to your shit. You don't need to listen to our shit if you don't want to.
Right. And then, so it's kind of like where, why doesn't it work for us more often? Like I'm sure there's way more things out there that should be canceled that are not, and they're still like fucking droning on, and it's irritating. It's funny to watch sometimes, but then after like the million times, like those fucking crate challenges on TikTok right now. Yeah, you've seen that ridiculous shit, right?
Yeah.
Like oh my god. I'm like, wow.
Tide Pods, crate challenge, ice bucket. Come on, really? There was a day and age where we didn't have the internet. Kids played outside. When you listened to the radio and you heard a song you didn't like, you changed the freaking channel. When you see a commercial you didn't like, you changed the freaking channel. But now it's all about, oh my God, you hurt me. I'm going to have to go to your supervisor.
Right. It's just, it's ridiculous. And I kind of had brought this up before. It's like this generation that's all sensitive, overly sensitive to everything. And like everything is a fucking big fucking deal. It was raised by a generation that were completely desensitized to everything. And I still have trouble wrapping my head around how the fuck did that happen? Like, you went from one extreme to the very fucking other.
I'll tell you how it happened. Participation trophies.
Was it so since like yeah, I guess you would say like the 90s parents, right? Like fucking
that's where it started.
Leave your kids at home for hours on end. That's why that fucking meme made me laugh so fucking much when it was like 2020 parents. What am I supposed to do? Just leave my children at home for like 3 or 4 hours? And then it's that fucking 2-parter where it's the fucking like the bear looking at the fucking camera and then like fucking looking away. It says 90s parents over the top of that picture.
So I remember growing up in San Diego. I was over in near National City, Chula Vista area. I wasn't but a stone throw away from the San Diego Zoo. And
being deported.
Yeah, exactly. So when I would get out of school, we would walk from our grade school, Alice Burney, all the way down to Florida Street, down Polk Hill. And when we get to our apartment, you know, we would be home alone. My mom was working at Sears Roebuck at the time. My father, he was still doing some stuff here and there. I don't know exactly what he was doing. He was, you know, he just retired from the military, or he'd done a stint with the Navy. And so he was doing other things for them, and maybe even going to school around that time. But I would come home to nothing. Me and my brother would be there by ourselves for the most part. We're in first grade, walking home and going home, eating a peanut butter jelly sandwich, you know, waiting for our parents to come home. A lot of times they would be home too, you know, I mean, you know, the way the time was. But for fuck's sakes, man, you think these fucking kids are a bunch of Cabbage Patch dolls walking around with big old bubbled heads and can't take care of themselves. They're just not given any responsibility. That's why they can't do it.
Yeah, exactly. And here's the thing, like when when I was in like grade school and stuff, I didn't go home right after school very often, just because I played like every sport the school had. So like I was always there until like 4:35, and like my parents were already home by that point. So it was very rare that I was home like without them being there for, you know, a few hours. But even then, like I already knew the routine. I already knew how to take care of myself. So it's like, whether you're here or not, I can eat and fucking go to the bathroom, and like the kid from Big Daddy said, I wipe my own ass.
Yeah,
you know, like I'm good. Like hang out, do whatever. I don't care.
We were like little stray dogs. We would walk home and we'd have our own route where we get free water from Denny's. We'd go to the barber shop, and he would have bubble gum, the bazooka bubble gum, and he'd only give one gum to 6 of us. We were friends, always walking home, and he would do this whole zip thing where he'd move it around. We'd have to catch it, right? So, you know, if we didn't get bubble gum, we didn't get it, and we'd all split it in pieces so everyone had a little piece, and then we move on. We had our own route. Nowadays, kids, they fucking staying home doing schoolwork for the COVID-19 shit. They're not doing anything. They're sitting around getting sluggish and lazy and big and rotund from eating everything under the sun. What the fuck are they doing? Nothing.
Yeah, it's like kids back in the day, 1 piece of gum, 6 kids, chop it into 6 pieces. Kids now, fucking, here, just chew on this.
Let's cancel that culture where kids stay at home and don't do shit. I don't give a fuck how hot it is outside. Get your ass out there and run around and sweat a little bit.
I'm super on board for that. Yes. Big time yes to that. I wish it would fucking just cancel the sensitivity, especially with comedy. As it pertains to comedy, right? Yeah. So no more fucking comedians apologizing for jokes. No more people like getting butthurt instead of just fucking changing the channel. Like that. Like, why can't it cancel fucking that shit?
Well, so I've heard a lot of comedians talking, you know, on local radio stations and whatnot, and they say they are never going to apologize for anything they do. The time that you start apologizing, the time you start saying, oh, yes, I was wrong, is the time that everybody's going to look at you and make you want to apologize for everything. Just look at Michael Richards, what happened with him in the past. He's dropped the N-bomb in one of his comedy shows, right? And he got shit for years. Let's fast forward to today. You know what Michael Richards does now? He produces
Do you want fries
Jeopardy.
Oh.
So guess what? He was going to do the what was her name? Malik, whatever from.
Oh, the Big Bang Theory?
Blossom. Yeah, Big Bang Theory and Blossom. She's going to host, but he was going to co-host with her. And they go back a few years when he was on a podcast talking about a woman's breast. And he fired himself. What the fuck is wrong with him? He's producing the whole goddamn show, and he fired himself for something that he said in a context on a podcast agreed to by the person that was there who laughed at it. And he felt so much shame from it, he fired himself from being a co-host from Jeopardy, which he produces. Let's cancel that shit.
Yeah.
God damn it, man. What's wrong with people?
I don't know, but they just cancel that. Just the fucking ridiculous shit that's wrong with people today.
Look, man, I've been called a spick. I've been called a wetback. You know, I've been called a dirty Mexican. I've been told to go back in the fields. You know what kept me going? I fucking ignored them. Who gives a shit what they call me? I don't give a fuck. Words don't hurt me. I don't let it hurt me. You know, I get mad. Don't get me wrong. I'm a normal human being, and I get pissed for a while. But you know what? water off the duck's back eventually, and I just move on with my days. Why do I let it affect me? Let's cancel that shit. Who gives a fuck what you think?
Right? Yes. Double down for that. Like, oh, fucking, like, put me in for 2 of those.
Look, man, we are one people. We should not be fighting each other. We got bigger problems in this world that we all need to work together to fix. I mean, there's so much things we can do as a species together to just get better, you know. And who knows, maybe eventually go to the stars and do whatever. Who fucking knows? Maybe we'll just be Neanderthals on here for the rest of our lives. But we can do so much better. Let's just start doing better. And let's start off with one thing. Everybody's a cunt. Everybody's a fucking asshole. Get over it and enjoy it and laugh about it and move on.
Exactly. Amen to that. And, you know, then it still leaves like good fodder for the show, like stuff like, you know, everybody's trying to be good, so then you fall into that gray area, right, where it's kind of like, is that kind of racisty or just me? You know, where you kind of hear some shit and it's like, wait, what was that kind of racist, or was it like just me? Like, so I'm in Texas, right, and I'm fucking driving to the video game museum, and I pass Cotton Gin Road, and I'm like, Texas, Cotton Gin Road. I look at Fuck Checker and I'm like, kind of racisty or just me? And she starts laughing. She's like, yeah, just a little bit. What do you think?
Well, did you see any burnt crosses? If you didn't, I guess not so much.
I mean, it's not Texas if you don't see burnt crosses.
We got to ask the TV nerds about going to Texas and if they actually frequent Cotton Gin Road, because you know what? I don't know who else would do that. I mean, come on. I've seen some weird shit around here. We have some mountain ranges out here, Squaw Peak, and that was technically racist. So they changed it to Piestewa. Piestewa. Sorry I fucked that up, but I'm from here, right? Peak, and then yeah. So it's just gone all over, man. I mean, come on. What the fuck? You know, Squaw Peak, I say that and I'm thinking in my head, is that racisty or not so much? And then I realized, no, I'm being a jerk. It's not racist.
Right. Okay. So, all right, flashback to like 2 weeks ago.
Oh,
the whole fucking somebody should have told them they could have sat at the front of the bus. Kind of
that's a facting.
Is that more stated and obvious, or?
Yeah. You know, at no point did I say, is that racist to you or me for the Washington Redskins?
Me either.
I mean, come on. They're the Washington Redskins. They've been known as the Washington Redskins. I never saw, you know, Native American ever once when I came out here and partied with them religiously for a whole year. Those motherfuckers can drink and see a tear come down their eye every time I, chose Washington Redskin football team on the Nintendo system for, Tecmo Bowl.
Right.
No one cried. Nobody cared. It was the Washington Redskins. Okay.
Yeah, and fucking none of them cared.
No.
Not one of
None.
them.
Oh, you know what? If we stop the Washington Redskins, is it racist or just me that we still have the Minnesota Vikings?
Right.
Man, I'm telling you, man, that's a whole culture out there. They're still around. There's still some Vikings. Just saying. Does Thor get pissed off?
Weigh in on this one in the comment section. Let us know. What do you think? and just a quick little thing just to drop for the viewers that you're going to be hearing on every so many episodes of the current affair ones. Yes. We started a fantasy football league for the cast and past guests and guests that you're going to see this season. So we'll go ahead and put that up in on the website, and we'll share like tidbits of stuff on social media regarding the fantasy football. So it's gonna be good, some trash talking, and we'll update you guys when we do those current affair episodes.
So on a different note, I know we're talking about is a racist or me. Mm-hmm. I used to watch the league religiously, and So we had our own fantasy football team when I was, working in a different department for the company I'm at, and we had the Busey rather than the Shiva. And it was a crazy Busey picture on top of a trophy that someone chucked out. So, there was a whole bunch wrong with this whole stupid trophy. And then you see that wonky eye looking at you like, ah! Wait a minute. That could be racist. No, that's just me. It's Busey.
I wonder if he's like that in real life, or if they just act for the.
Just look at his son, the way he acts. And if you think I'm crazy, watch Starship Troopers. I mean, come on. And what was that movie he was in with Michael J. Fox? The Frighteners.
Oh yeah. Whoa, been a long time.
Yeah. He's a nutball just like his dad, but he's probably more sane than his dad.
Did set the bar real high, you know what I mean? Like,
yep.
like what's half a batshit crazy?
It's still batshit crazy in my book,
right? Well, so what about you? Anything that like comes to mind in terms of things that you've seen or heard that was just kind of like, what?
No, I try to keep to my own one out in the public because my dirty thoughts and dirty mind. The funny thing is, the guys I work with, something weird happens, they all stare at me first and foremost, which makes me feel kind of weird. But then I realize why they do it. I'm like, yeah, everybody's waiting for the good shit to come out. I tell you what, though, we all say racist things. We all do. Everybody does. Every ethnicity does. There are some people that are better than others. And I'm the first to admit that I'm not one of those better people. I apologize for that. No, I don't. Anyway, to tell you the truth, we all have thoughts in our head, whether we say it aloud or not, that are racist intentions, but not wanting to hurt a person. We're just saying out of anger. We want to hit the lowest common denominator to hurt someone because we want them to understand how bad they've hurt us, either that or, done us wrong. You know what I mean? Yeah. So, you know what? Come on. I don't have anything that pops in my head right off the bat because I try to forget about things as soon as I remember them. That's why I write a lot of notes, but, we all just need to get along, get over it and stop beating the shit out of each other.
Oh, there was one other thing that that I had just thought about, but fuck, we'll put a pin in that and come back to it later.
So, I mean, one thing that pops into my head is a new idea that I came up with that I posted on our OneNote page that we might be bringing out in one of our episodes, or maybe even on a pop-up Facebook live feed that we might be doing in the future. Just to give you an idea, we will be calling it Mexican Masterpiece Theater.
Yes.
I don't know how racist that's going to be because, we both have families that are derivative from Mexico. So
very. Old Mexican ladies are the most racist people I've ever met in my entire life.
Dang, yeah, they are, man. Then they throw sandals and oranges at people.
By makers of the chancla.
Oh, man. Yeah. And then, that goes on to the next thought. We're talking about racism. We're talking about the cancel culture. But, it's also created a new breed of person out there, if you will. The unwanted vagabonds that are wanting to be on your side. They're bandwagoners wanting to call out cancel culture, wanting to call out racism, and you're looking at them like, fuck you, I don't need you on my shoulder telling me what I need to feel mad about. Have you run into that?
Yeah, I mean, I had like an in-person run-in with that kind of shit, and it was like got into a fight at like some fucking random backyard party. And but it was a fair fight. Like fucking grandma had the chancla. No,
nice.
No, so there was this one dude that was like fucking like talking shit to the guy I was fighting with like almost the entire fucking time, and I was like, that guy was getting on my fucking nerves too. So I'm like fucking fighting with this one dude, and then this other dude like fucking got too close, and I'm like, bam, right fucking elbow to the sternum for talking shit. I'm like, bitch, I didn't need your help.
Yeah, I remember a time back in '91 when I first came out here to Arizona. Mill Avenue is over by ASU, Arizona State University, and they used to shut it down in the summertime. You know, the whole block. It was like a whole mile stretch where they'd shut down and people would walk out in the street and whatnot. And we were sitting on the stretch where, you know, traffic was happening and girls and guys were cruising, and some girls picked us up in this Toyota pickup, right? So they're all hop in, you know, we're extra tight, so you know, body chemistry, you know what I'm talking about. Anyway, all my friends are in the back, you know, and I'm up in the cab with one of the hot girls with my friend, you know, because they kind of liked us. Yeah, go figure that one out, right? We're driving around and there's a bunch of Mexicans in a 6'4" behind us, right? And they're talking shit to my brother who's in the back. He's a month older than me. And they start saying fucking racist shit to another Mexican. It's like, motherfucker, where do you think we're from? Guatemala? It's like, fuck's sake. So these guys are talking shit back there, you know? And one of the girls goes, aren't you mad? They're saying some bad stuff. I'm like, fuck them. I don't give a shit. And I need you to just mind your own business and put your hand in my lap. So next thing I know, they throw a fucking full can of beer over the fucking truck. They were trying to hit someone in the back. Fucking hits this car in front of us. This 6'5" black kid comes out. And this white kid that was a little bit taller than him, that was twice his size, looked at us like, who threw that? Wasn't me. Look at the Mexicans back there. See, I know this black guy runs across the street to the Circle K because his friend's starting to throw down, pulls a pole off of one of the trees, you know, to hold it straight up. He just rips it from the ground, comes running over to this guy, whack, lifts up 3 Mexicans with this pole and breaks it in half. I'm like, motherfucker, I'm not getting into this one because I know I'm next for the punch. So it was kind of both facets where I'm telling someone to mind their own business and I'm minding my own business, so I don't get in the mix. Now, I'm not a small guy, and I was pretty strong at the time, but ain't no fucking way I'm jumping in that thing.
There's no need, right? This is one of those things where you like do the Homer Simpson thing where you just fade into the hedges. Reminds me of that Offspring song, "You're Gonna Go Far, Kid," and it's like, and then you just basically like in the video he just kind of does the same shit. He like antagonizes, and then like when the whole fucking shit gets going, he just kind of like fades away into the distance.
Yeah, but there's been a couple instances where, you know, we were at a party out in the Capitol out here for 4th of July, and you know, someone said some derogatory thing to me, and this guy goes, "Shut up, man, he's a person too." I looked at the guy, go, "Fuck you, mind your own goddamn business. This guy's a shithead, so are you."
Who the fuck asked you?
Mind your own goddamn business. I got a lot of high fives for that one. That was funny.
When somebody did that one time, and I looked over and I was like, "Do you need friends that bad?" And then I just fucking kept talking shit to the other person I was talking to.
Like if I got 15 guys against me beating the shit out of me, I still don't need your help. Mind your own fucking business. Let my ass get beat.
Yeah, right. Like unless you're fucking Neo from the Matrix and you're gonna fucking like take out 15 Agent Smiths, like keep on walking, like fucking pull an Isaac Hayes and walk on by.
Because, you know, that's the difference between one punch or 20 punches. Because that guy might piss somebody else off and you might get more.
Yeah, exactly, right. Oh, his friend trying to jump in. Fuck him up some more.
Yep, stab him in the gut. Wait a minute, I thought we were punching.
And then the guy right before he slinks off into the background. My, that escalated quickly.
Drinking a Miller. I was kicking back with some of my black friends, and we were you know, just chilling out, just hanging out, not really doing anything big, laughing, having a good time. And someone called out the N-bomb to him, and one of my friends looked at me. I'm like, "That's all you, boy." That's your fight. That ain't my fight. I thought it was funny.
It was like one time one of the fucking and I'm pretty sure MTV might remember this when one of our other friends who's black too was trying to like reassure me that it was okay for me to drop the N-bomb whenever I wanted to, and that quote I should drop it as much as possible. And I'm like,
no,
I'm all, that's okay. I'm cool.
I'm proud of who I am and what I can say. I don't need to drop that.
I'm like, you know, if it's in a song lyric, it's in a song lyric, whatever. That's how the song goes. But
that doesn't even count anymore. That white girl that got up on stage, I forgot who was singing. Somebody had like 3 N-bombs right in his lyrics, and he calls her up to sing, right? Mm-hmm. And she's singing the lyrics the way he wrote the lyrics, dropping N-bombs, and everybody's like, oh, no, bitch, you can't be singing that. You are singing that. That is your song. You asked me to sing your song. Mm-hmm. I am singing your song. Why cannot I say this? Makes no sense.
Nope, not at all. It's dude, it's just fucking weird how fucking weird the lines get drawn sometimes. You know what I mean? It's like that's your fucking grasp on reality, like right there. That's where you want to draw the line. Okay, got it.
I mean, by that notion, we should all Mexicans should be pissed off at Taco Bell because first of all, it's not a taco. Yeah, it's good as shit, but it's still not a taco. And I didn't see any bells or any ringing of bells since 1970 something.
The last one that I saw with the fucking actual bell was like probably back in the late 80s.
Yeah, that's when they started going to the new style where they were fucking bringing out that blue pattern washboard with purple mix in their wave, and Kurt's wearing all that shit with his fucking white car and getting all that pussy in that time.
You know what? Should we fucking replace that and some of these other fucking chains that are getting out of control? Like Kevin Smith should just open up his own chain of fucking movie restaurants.
That would be good because he already fucked up He-Man from what I hear from Netflix.
Oh, boo!
I mean, who kills the fucking main character in the first episode of the first season of a brand new fucking genre?
Game of Thrones.
Well, that's true. But there's a lot more sex and titties than that.
Yeah, there sure was. When Fuckchucker was watching it at first, I was like, I didn't really like, you know, sit down and watch. I just happened to pop in at random parts, and it was always like somebody blowing somebody or somebody fucking getting bent over something, and I'm like, Jesus Christ, what the fuck are you watching? And she's like, Game of Thrones. I'm like, is it all sex? And she's like, no, there's a storyline, but she's like, yeah, there's a lot of sex in it.
What would you have done if it was called Gay of Thrones?
There actually is a fucking a show called Gay of Thrones, and
I believe it.
It's on YouTube, and it's this gay dude doing reaction videos to Game of Thrones. It is fucking hilarious as shit. Check it out, dude. If you watched any of the show, like. Even if you didn't, I think it's still just because the way he's fucking reacting and like the fucking kind of shit he's talking. Imagine Cookie doing a fucking reaction video to Game of Thrones. It's like
I couldn't because he'd be swallowing it. Yeah, so I watched the whole thing. I'm not proud to say it. I watched every last bit of that stuff. I ate it up. I lapped it up. I might as well have been fucking Brokeback Mountain all over that shit. I was all into it.
Yeah, I watched it too. And like fucking like, don't feel bad. I know how to play the theme song on the guitar. Me and Guitar Guy know how to play it.
Nice. What, Brokeback Mountain?
That and Game of Thrones theme.
Yeah, so
we're just better at one.
So nobody's going to believe me, and I don't give a fuck if you believe me or not, but we had Brokeback Mountain on DVD. I think I still got it somewhere, but I watched it once, but I didn't watch the whole thing. I fast forward to Anne Hathaway's scene where she pops her boobs out. I'm like, yeah. Yes! Then I stopped it, took it out, put it back in the disc. I never looked at it again.
Fast
True
forward
story.
to click.
You know, right hand of God, left hand on the Bible. It happened just like that.
I believe it.
Well, if I'm lying, God, strike me down right now.
Nope.
Looks like I'm good.
No, I forgot. Like an ex of mine wanted me to watch the fucking thing with her, and so I'm like, yeah, okay, cool. And so I had an edible, and we start watching it, and I think we're at the theater. And I'm like, I don't want to take off my glasses because like my eyes are all fucking red, and like it's hurting. And I ended up falling to fucking sleep during the whole fucking thing. I woke up like 15 minutes before it ended, and I was like, nice. She didn't even fucking notice at all that I was asleep during that whole shit.
Meanwhile, you found your pants around your ankles and a bunch of dudes walking away going, hey, wasn't it a great movie? Thanks again, Tiger.
Why is there a hole in the bottom of my seat?
Why do I got a bunch of butter all from the popcorn all in my lap? So yeah, speaking of all that, we going into all that cancel culture and everything. What about Karens?
Oh, that's what
we've talked about it before, right?
That's what I was gonna say. That's what I was gonna bring up. Okay, well, fucking good segue for this one.
Yeah.
I wish fucking cancel cultures would that's when it worked out, when they started fucking cracking down on Karens. San Francisco has a no Karen law.
Do they? I didn't know that.
Yes, they do. Yes, they do.
Wow.
And I think we talked about it. Oh, because it was maybe like 4 years ago, 3 years ago. And so we had talked about it like in an earlier season, but yeah, it's called like it's not spelled like exactly like K-A. It's but when you read it, when you're looking at it and reading it, it basically looks like it spells Karen. So
that's wacky wall stuff.
So you can't. So it's like one of like the cell phone thing,
right?
When she called in and this fucking black person's harassing me, blah blah blah. Like that's like they'll get arrested if that shit's not true,
right?
And like they're not gonna just take it lightly. Basically, is what that law was fucking entailing. So
and that goes back to what we were just discussing. Mind your own goddamn business. I mean, fuck's sake, why do you want to fuck somebody's life up that you know nothing about just because they may be perceived to you as something that they are not? I've seen a lot of Mexicans, a lot of whites, a lot of blacks, Chinese, Asians, in general, that are dressed like shit, but they're the greatest people in the world. And I've seen a lot of great people dressed up nice that are the worst people in the world selling drugs. What the fuck? Who are you to decide?
Nobody. And that's the thing, is they forget that that's exactly who they are. In the grand scheme of things, they're exactly nobody. It's a lot of tantrums.
Yeah.
And I don't know when the fuck that started, or if it's been, and this is the thing that trips me out, like, has it been going on this whole time, but just because now the fucking internet's readily available, and like social media and video is readily available and easy to like put up on the on the web for everybody to see, is that why it seems like it's just happening now? Or does
No, it's happened before in the past. As a kid, I used to see all sorts of derogatory things being said and done in a real world environment by people that had no better way to vocalize anything or to do anything. As being a little Mexican kid growing up, I see my mom called, all sorts of shit. I've been called all sorts of shit, but the thing is, we didn't have video of it. So, I mean, it's happened. It's been happening. It's always happened. The only difference now is, you get this recent woman that was in the Victoria's Secret, shop, where she is being filmed by a black woman because of verbal assault that they're giving back and forth. She tries to knock the phone out of her hand, and then, realizes that she's being filmed. So what does she do? She acts like the black woman hit her, goes to the ground, starts crying and telling everybody that she needs a police call because she was attacked. I mean, come on, for God's sakes.
Yeah, that's the kind of shit that, like, fucking, I wish the cancel culture would attack, and it's just
Yeah.
or attack harder, because it's still happening. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
you have, like, I think the most extreme cases, but I know there's a bunch more. Like, I was last year during the pandemic when I was just trying to pick up extra work. I delivered DoorDash, and so I'm I'm walking trying to find like this fucking house because it's in a gated community, and like my car fits in just fine with everybody else's that's in there, or you know, it's comparable. So, but I'm not in my car. I'm like, I left it on the side, and I'm just parked. I'm like walking, and like fucking this fucking lady comes out of nowhere. Can I help you? I'm like, yeah, if you know where this address is at. Otherwise, like, no. It was already a fucking long night, and this fucking jackass had me fucking bring like fries and a shake like 25 minutes away.
Nice.
And didn't even tip.
Oh God, what the fuck, man?
Yeah, I had fucking clear across town for fucking
So
no
we
tip.
recently got pizza. This like the other night. And you know, the wife tells me, oh, it's about $57. Rolls up at $70. Like, God damn, what did you order? But I didn't say nothing to the driver. I didn't do nothing, you know, to make his day bad because he seemed like a nice kid. I gave him $8. I mean, for God's sakes, man, tip your drivers. You know, if you're in a restaurant and they're assholes, don't tip them. But if they're great and they take care of you, tip them good. You know, fucking take care of the people that take care of you.
Absolutely. Like if you guys checked out the Rice and Beans Instagram over the weekend, you see one of the places where Mix It manages, and we were eating dinner there, and the wait staff was great. It's Saint and Second out in Belmont Shores. So if you're local here, go ahead and check that place out. It's fucking spot on. So that's where I was doing the bone marrow luges. It's if you haven't done those before, it's the bone marrow on toast points appetizer, and so after everybody, you know, clears out that bone, you get a shot of like what we did with vodka, and you pour it down, like, you know, the hollowed out bone, and still picks up all that flavor of the, you know, the bone marrow and the alcohol, and it's change your whole life around. You should go out there and try it.
It was kind of looking in that picture like you were tongue punching while you were milking a bull.
That's the way you got to do it. That's how the pros do it. You've been
Took the liberty of milking your cow. We don't have a cow, but we got a bull though.
we call that move the Munson.
That shit looked pretty good though. I'll tell you what, man. That luge for that bone marrow, yeah.
And so that's why I posted some of the pictures of some of the food that they got there. I'm not really big into oysters, but Mix It and his wife and Fuck Checker, they're pretty big into oysters. So I let them toss those back. But they also had some of these duck meatballs. Woo!
That sounds good.
Oh man, they were fucking delicious. So
yeah, I'm not an oyster man myself.
Nah, it's like fucking swallowing a fucking loogie. I'm like,
yeah.
What's the fucking point? I'm like, I can just fucking hawk those up all day from the smoker's cough.
Yeah, I'm not much of a fish guy either. But when I was in Japan, I was eating fish daily practically. I mean, sashimi, sushi, it was fucking good, man. I'm not gonna lie.
Hell yeah.
I am not a fish guy, but I eat fish in Japan, no problem.
You know what? Fuck Checker does not like cooked fish or cooked crab or lobster, right? Like she'll eat like sushi but or sashimi has to be raw, not cooked. But so we're up in San Francisco at Fisherman's Wharf, and she's like having the clam chowder, and I'm like, yeah, let me get one of the Dungeness crabs. And you know, those are the fuckers that they pull right out of the bay, and they're still alive. Right. And they thought, okay, so that one dies, and so then I'm like, all right, here, just try this. This is as fresh as it's gonna get. Like, it was still alive when they threw it in the pot. So She's like, okay. And so she's like, takes a little piece and she's like, hey, that's not bad. I like that. And she's like, let me try a little bit more. And it's like, I'm holding like now both of my hands are full. So there's not shit I could do about it except watch her fucking like finish the rest of my fucking $35 crab. And like, I got like 2 little pieces. I got to eat
Nice.
half of a fucking bread bowl of clam chowder.
When I was a kid, we went down to Fisherman's Wharf, and I had calamari for the first time. My uncle at the time, he's no longer my uncle, 'cause separation, but he said, "You got to try this." And I'm like, "I'm not too much into this." So I mean, he gives me this fried calamari. I'm popping it in my mouth. I'm like, "God, this is pretty fucking good." Next thing I know, I like fucking octopus.
Oh yeah, dude, you're about it. Like I dated this Asian girl back in the day, and so I got to try a lot of like the sushi that I still like eating today, and I got to try octopus too. So
Right.
that's
So her name was Susie, and you ate her all the time. Is that what you're saying?
Chen Li or some shit like that. Um, no, like I got to try a lot of different fucking like fish dishes and like because like Japanese culture, like they like you said, when you're in Japan, it's like really big. So
Yeah.
a lot of stuff that I learned how to use chopsticks because I went to like dinner or something like that with her grandparents to this restaurant, like super fobby Japanese restaurant that you like they have like forks and spoons and shit, but you gotta ask for them, and then they bring them over with that like like fucking attitude.
Round eye want fork.
Yeah, and so her grandparents got on her and they were like, why don't you just teach him how to use the chopsticks? And she's like, okay, so this is what you do. You hold it like this, you hold it like this. And I'm like, she's like, well, you play the drums, like just like if you're holding like your drumsticks, but like just hold this one still. And I'm like, oh, okay. And so when she told me that, like that's how you do it, and you just pinch stuff together. And I'm like, oh. And so she's like, here, try with the rice. And like I hadn't eaten all fucking day, and I was starving. And I'm like, just fucking slamming down the fucking rice. She's like, yo, stop. Can't eat the rice before the fucking food comes. I'm like, isn't that food? She's like, yeah, kind of, but we have it with everything, so you just have to wait. I'm like, then why the fuck did they bring it out now?
So on a quick note, yeah, when I was there, I kept on eating the wasabi. And, because I'm Mexican, I like hot stuff. I eat jalapenos, right? Just munch on those things, man. Man, nothing was that hot. And then I finally got the wasabi, and I'm trying to mix it in with my sushi. Oh, it's too much, too much. I'm like, too much for you? I'm dipping it in there. Oh, you're not going to like it. I dip it in there. I'm eating it. I'm like, oh, it's pretty good now. And they're all looking at me like I'm fucking nut.
One of my kids, when he was fucking, I don't know, about like 4 or 5, fucking insistent little fucker that he wanted to have the green pudding, and I'm like, no, you don't. It's not pudding.
Green pudding.
And then he like just fucking would not stop. I'm like, you know what? Fine, here, go ahead. So like he just like grabs like a big fucking spoonful and fucking swallows it, and I'm like, oh shit. And then he starts fucking turning red, and he's like starts to fucking cry, and I'm like, how's your pudding?
Not dying.
Fuck checker smacks me, and she's like, here's the water, drink the water. And I'm like, that's not gonna help. He ate way too much of that shit. And he's like, it just burns. It burns. I don't like that. I'm like,
Just wait till you poop.
Yeah, if only somebody had told you.
Oh, wait, I did.
If only somebody had thrown out that little gem of wisdom, you were not going to like that shit.
I know we got off the whole Karen culture and everything like that, but I mean, it's fun to laugh and everything, but all you Karens, you need to fucking lighten up. You're not saving the world. You're not saving your neighborhood, and you're certainly not helping anybody at all. So just calm the fuck down.
Yeah, learn how to mind your own fucking business again. And it's like when I'm out with the wife and kids, and then like some shit's going on, or people being loud, and they start turning around and rubbernecking, and I'm like, yo, did somebody call your name? No, like mind your own fucking business then. Like, I'm like, unless it's happening right in front of you, like, why is there a need to like stop and turn around? Like, people had an accident. It just,
Or when you're walking down your street and somebody hands a note to your wife and says, "If you need help, call me. I'll get the cops for you." That Mexican's too close to you.
if I had a nickel for every time, shit ton of nickels.
You'd have a shit ton of nickels. That's right. Oh, fuck's sakes, man.
And every time I say something racist, I go, no, it's okay. My wife's white.
Oh, fuck, man. We just need to get a better mindset. I'm glad we're talking about it now, but for fuck's sake, people, lighten up.
Yeah, dude. And it's like, lighten up and fucking, like, show some fucking appreciation and like that.
Stop trying to get people fired for things they say on podcasts or in groups. Come on.
Right. And it kind of like just okay, so one thing that bugs me like to no end is how people tune into a certain thing knowing full well that that's what that thing is going to provide, and still having the fucking audacity to bitch about it. It's like, this is what you signed up for. You knew what you signed up for. There's a goddamn disclaimer on the fucking site, and yet you still want to bitch and complain like you weren't pre-warned or had no fucking idea that any of this was coming, when in fact you knew goddamn well this was coming, and that's why you're fucking tuning in. But now you want to go and like, oh, this was crossing the line. Why? Because it fucking tiptoed across some fucking line that you didn't want to cross, but like other people were cool with it. Not to mention the countless lines that other people, maybe we crossed it for them, and they were laughing just fine when it wasn't about them, but then turn around to them and it's fucking tantrum this, tantrum that, and like, it's so fucking stupid.
It's just like when you go to the fucking eatery, you're out at a restaurant and you see that one person that ordered a burger, fries, and it's not well done. It's got a little pink in there. Oh, but they eat all that burger, then complain and want their money back in a new burger. It's like, for fuck's sakes, if you didn't like it, why'd you eat it? You got your money's worth. You pay for that shit. Get the hell out of my restaurant.
You finished it, we'll take half off.
No, you finished it, you pay the whole thing. Get out of the restaurant.
True.
If you didn't like it, you shouldn't have ate it. And if you ate it, then I guess you liked it, so you're going to pay for it. Get out.
Yeah, exactly.
And going back to the concept that you had, has this happened before in the past? Yeah, it's always happened. Go to the 50s when you had that nosy neighbor peeking out of her window all the time and fucking, always calling the cops. We always made fun of it in TV shows like freaking, the Addams Family and fucking the Munsters and Car 54, Where Are You? That one nosy neighbor always peeking in to do something. Now they're all over the place. And the reason why they're all over the place is because we got billions of people as opposed to a couple millions. So, it's just more rampant and people are just not educated enough.
Right. Or then the problem is they think they are. Like,
yeah, that's true.
It's like that.
I got my degree online.
Right. It's true because the internet said it was so.
Yes. I went to Wikipedia. Reddit said it. I always follow Reddit, so I know it's true.
Exactly. And remember, kids, if it's on the internet, it must be true.
And if you didn't take a picture, it never happened.
Right? That's what
Speaking of which, there's a lot of boobs out there that never happened. We need pictures of those just to make sure they did. So if you go to a Rice and Beans podcast, doesn't matter who you choose, Jester or myself, Big-O, and drop us pictures that they happened, then we'll be A-okay. Make sure that we are doing our job.
Yes. Double yes.
That logic makes sense. Yes. Okay, we're good.
It's like I tell all my buddies, pics or it never happened.
Yeah, that's right. No, I sent a dick pic. I didn't see it.
That's why I never tell Cookie that, because then he just sends me some weird shit involving farm animals.
So there was this has nothing to do with what we're talking about, cancel culture or anything, but this is a funny story. So I'm working on site in this big corporation, right? And I'm talking with one of the guys I used to work with as a regular technician, and now he's moved up in his position. And I'm sitting across the hallway from another guy that is our competitor, but we're good ground. We always talk and everything. So he shows me this picture of this guy who wraps his thumb around his wrist and puts his penis through to make it look like it's the tip of his thumb. And it's big, bulbous, and purple. So I'm laughing about it. He goes, "Yeah, my brother sends me some weird shit, but I don't show anybody because everybody gets butthurt." I'm like, "I don't. Show me. I'll laugh my ass off." He shows me this pic. I'm like, "Oh my God, he busted his thumb. I get it." And we're laughing nonstop, like 2 second graders, right, in class. And so now, a few weeks later, during Thanksgiving, he's at home, and this guy is filling in for him on site because that's what the job entails. So we're shooting the shit. We're sitting out there doing nothing, just talking. I go, "Oh yeah, your boy showed me a picture of how he put a hammer under his thumb." He's like, "What? I didn't hear about that. Show me." So I show him the picture. He's all, "It's disgusting." He just starts laughing. Like, "Oh, it's so funny." He looks at me. He goes, "Watch this." I'm like, "What are you gonna do?" He goes, "Shh, watch this." He calls the guy up. He goes, hey, yeah, I was just talking to Big O here, and he mentioned something about you busting your thumb. Yeah, you didn't report that. I don't know what happened, but you need to report those things. That's a safety issue. That's a health issue. We need to know this stuff. So he's going on for 5 minutes about, you need to call me now. I need to hear what happened. You need to file a report. There's some big wigs talking about this. We need to get ahead of this. And he hangs up. I'm looking at him like, the fuck did you just do? And he starts talking about other stuff. So we start laughing and just talking about other stuff. 5 minutes later, he gets a phone call. He looks at his phone. He hangs up. He looks at me. "Oh, it's him. Let's just keep talking." So I'm like, holy shit. So 2 more calls with hangups, right? And he goes, "All right, listen to the voicemail. Yeah, I don't know about any hurt or injury. I didn't report nothing because I'm okay. What's all this about?" And you could hear the angst in his voice with his family in the background. Finally, the 4th call comes through. He answers the phone. And he goes, yeah, no. Yeah, it was a picture that Big O showed me, and here, let me just send it to you. So he sends it to him, and you just hear we had his ass rolling for 30 minutes worrying about if his job was horrible. I'm looking at the guy, go, "You're a fucking horrible person." He goes, "Yeah, I know." I go, "That's why I love you." And we just laugh for 10 minutes straight. Meanwhile, the other guy on the phone is just like, fuck you.
Oh, that was awesome. Fuck yeah.
Good times when you're at work.
Hell yeah. All right, guys. Well, we are coming up on our time for this set, but wanted to drop this since it's confirmed now. Big O is going to be making a trip out to the West Coast. So,
yeah.
We are going to be shooting as many episodes as possible while he's here. We're still going to release them at their normal scheduled date, but we're also going to record a bunch of the bonus content that we've been wanting to keep on the lookout for. Some Rice and Beans Radio. We're going to have in-studio guests for those. We're also going to have in-studio guests coming up, and we're really excited. The TV Nerds are coming back. The Butcher's Lounge Live, Paul from the Butcher's Lounge Live, which is a podcast about the butcher industry that's done on Instagram. And they have some pretty cool swag too, so check it out and check out their shop. So Paul's going to be on, and we've got something good cooking when he comes in. Mix It is going to be back in studio, and Big O is here, so Big O will finally get to try firsthand some of these drinks that Cookie's been passing on and I've been double fisting on. And then we've also got some musical guests coming in, so great lineup, and we're going to do some pop-up shows, and it's going to be great. So we're
going back to Cali.
Yeah.
And don't forget, that's where I get my whip from, Cali. Get my peaches down in Georgia, get my whip down in California.
Yeah. All right, guys. Well, until next time, take a toke and watch all your worries go up in smoke. Yep.